What's up guys, how's it going? Today we are going to be unboxing and taking a look at the new Nintendo Switch OLED edition. So let's unbox it. See, we have tabletop mode, TV mode, and handheld mode. Don't need that actually. Just a tab key on the bottom. And here it is. So this is the model with the white Joy-Con. Let's pull out the console. Alright, so you can see compared to the original Nintendo Switch, it has a much larger screen. On the back here, we have a full-length kickstand, which can be popped open from anywhere down here. Ooh, that is a nice hinge, and look how far back it can go. Like, you can be standing up and using this on the table. And see, actually, that the micro SD card slot is in a different orientation, so there are some internal changes. And we have much larger speakers here, one there, and one there. Got a larger, nicer, oval-shaped power button here, and larger volume buttons. And here's our game card slot, right there. Alright, let's look underneath. Alright, so here's our HDMI cable, standard, just like in the original. Power cable here, same. And here we have our Joy-Con grip, same as the original, just like that. Right, here are our Joy-Con straps. Now they have like these white bits compared to the original, which do not, I believe. At least on mine. And here's the new dock, which comes with some nice changes. Alright, so it is in white. The logo itself actually is smaller. You get two USB-A ports on the left. Have the same mechanism down in there. But on the back, we can already see some changes. There's a design choice there. It looks very nice. They have this. But if you open it, it just comes off, I guess, like that. It's not a hinge. Alright. You can see we have a USB-C, HDMI, and what is that? We now have Ethernet on the Nintendo Switch dock. And so again, all Nintendo Switch OLEDs and original Nintendo Switches are cross-compatible with accessories because they're the exact same size and form factor. Joy-Cons are the same. So you can go and pick yourself up one of these docks and actually use it with your original Nintendo Switch, or buy an Ethernet adapter to get Ethernet connectivity. Got some vents there. See, there actually are not any very visible vents here, but when you look, they're actually much bigger than the original, and they're right down there. You can see it a bit better once you open the kickstand. Alright, let's compare it now actually to the original Nintendo Switch and see how they hold up against each other. Alright, so I'm just gonna put these Joy-Cons on, slide them. That feels very sturdy actually. I wonder if they've changed anything to the rail design. Very nice. Alright. So here, we actually also have a first generation Nintendo Switch. Let's compare them. Alright, so let's start with the consoles themselves. I want to show you something that I noticed. Is very slightly larger. Also, there's no serial number on the bottom. That's interesting. Alright. So on the back here, you can see that on the original, there are vents on the back like that. Have a kickstand here with the micro SD card reader there. On here, we have the full-size kickstand and the micro SD card going that way, actually, instead of this way. There's a much smaller logo also. Alright, so let's start off with the biggest new feature, going from a 6.2-inch display to a 7-inch OLED display. So you can already see it's much smaller bezels. It looks like a deeper black, and also there's not the plastic on the side here. It's more like a glossy instead of a matte. Alright, on the top, you can see it is much cleaner, I think. So you get a power button, I think is easier to press. You get much larger volume buttons, have a headphone jack there, and a game card slot. You can also, I think that the original actually is a little bit better to get your fingernail under, but it's great that it goes along the whole slot for the new Nintendo Switch. The vents appear to be smaller, but I believe that that is plastic and the actual heatsink is the same size, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference. On the side here, you can see it's basically the same real design. And on the other side also, you can compare speaker sizes here. You have the more than double the size speakers on the new one compared to the original. And actually also, the new Nintendo Switch comes with a screen protector pre-installed. You can see there. Alright, let's move on to the docks. So, I personally prefer having the larger logo. I believe it is also more visible, at least on the black here. So, they are about the same size. The white is just the same in dimensions as the black. You can see that on the inside here now, it's all glossy plastic instead of matte. So I wonder if that'll help any with Nintendo Switches that had been getting scratched by the dock, actually. So you can see we have the vents in there, basically the same in here. Looks more square to me, though. So, looks like they're probably bigger, actually. We still have two USB-As for each of those. It's a much smaller power LED now. Quite like the bigger design on the old one. And it also has a bigger icon. On the bottom, oh wow, it doesn't have any rubber pads. That I wish the new one had. Alright, so you'll see this bigger Nintendo logo. This does have bigger cable management space. I do like that. And I do like that design. So this is on a hinge, although you can take it off quite easily. But the new one is not on a hinge. And you'll see here, just pops out like that. So I do prefer the hinge like this more. I don't know why they did this, but I guess that design's kind of cool. I just feel like it might be easier if cables are kind of tight in there for it to come off. We'll see about that. So let's compare sound. I do like the sound of this better. This has almost like a creak. Sometimes when you do that, but this is very nice. I do like that better on the new one. Let's take a look at the inside. See, we have just a single vent here, dual vents in here. I don't know how much that does. So here, we are actually losing one USB-A port. Instead, we get Ethernet, so we have AC adapter. And then there's USB here and HDMI out there. and then HDMI out here, and LAN for Ethernet there. So you can actually see inside of there at the ports. And then we do get two USB 2.0 Type A's on the left side there. Okay, so let's try putting old Joy-Cons on the new Switch, new Joy-Cons on the old Switch. Old with the new Joy-Cons. Okay. There is the same amount of wobble, so I don't believe there's any changes to the Joy-Con. Let's try new with the old Joy-Con. Feels more secure. Wow, there is no wiggle on there. Awesome. Alright, let's try them in the docks. Let's try old Switch and new dock. Alright, fits perfectly as it should. New Switch and old dock. There we go. It is also the same. So one last thing, I'm gonna compare weight because I really don't know. So let's measure how much each of them weigh. Alright, so the first generation Nintendo Switch weighs 318 grams. Well, the new Nintendo Switch weighs 323 grams, so there is only 5 gram difference. I'd be surprised. I guess that I would think that since the larger display, that the OLED would be heavier. I guess LCD has a lot more layers to it, so could be heavier. So I guess the overall larger display makes that difference. Well, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. We'll see you on the very next video. Bye.